Welcome to Breaking Solo, how solopreneurs break barriers, build brands, and embrace the future of business.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Solo. I'm very excited for my guest today, Harland Merriam. Thank you so much for being with me, Harland. Tell the audience what you do.
Well, good to see you too today, Donna, and all of you that are watching, listening, whichever. I live in Central Florida, and primarily what I do these days is facilitate, I'll call it masterminds. You might call them circles of very successful entrepreneurs as we help each other be the best people we can be, make as much money as we can, but do it in a right way.
That's a great mission.
It's really fun to all these people I get to be with. So yes.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me what inspired you to go solopreneur?
Well, for 40, 50 years, I was a pastor, a military chaplain. So I was working for congregations and or the military as a chaplain in a big organizations. I repurposed about 11 years ago now. I don't call it retired. I repurposed. I finished up those parts of my life, those chapters, and went into what I would call a marketplace ministry in real estate. I'm a real estate investor. I have been pretty much all of my life, and I really focused on that, bringing the values that I have, my Christian values, my faith values, my integrity into both single family and multifamily investments, and began to meet people in that world. And that moved me from working for others to working for myself in this.
Awesome. So what's been the most expensive mistake you've made, whether it was time, money, relationships?
I've made a lot of expensive mistakes in my life all the way through. Most of them have worked out well. One was we bought a 128-unit apartment complex. I partnered up with some others, raised a couple $1 million from investors, and bought an apartment complex, was managing it, and COVID hit 3 months after we bought it.
My gosh.
So we were frightened for our residents, for our staff. All of us were frightened all kinds of ways. It wasn't a mistake, but the government told the people basically you don't have to pay your rent because they weren't allowing us to take them to court. And so they started not paying their rent. So that for a period of time was pretty expensive with the lost rent. We were able to finish up that investment over the next couple of years and did very well with it. But there were a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there were sleepless nights for everybody during COVID,
Yes, there were.
regardless of which side of the bench you were on.
That's right. You know, as a pastor, I had several funerals of people's parents who died in nursing homes without being able to actually see their family except through the window in those last
Yeah.
months. It was hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad we're on it. But beyond it.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me, how did you decide what your offerings were going to be in the marketplace?
Well, that came over time. I began to hear people who were doing very well in real estate as I'd moved into it. And yet they were saying, is this what there is? It wasn't just about making the money. There had to be something more. And it reminded me of conversations I had with military leaders, with people back in congregations, that there's something more than profit that is most important. And we began to talk about purpose. What's your purpose in this business? What's your purpose in what you're offering? And when we began to have those conversations, particularly in these circles or masterminds, things started really happening in a wonderful way for people.
Wow. So tell me more about that. Why did they start seeing more success?
Because profit really isn't a great foundation for life or business. We need profit. Profit provides a way to employ people, to get our product out in the market and to be able to survive and support our families. But unless there's an underlying purpose beyond just making money the most you can, then there's an emptiness that comes into life, a lack of fulfillment, if you will, that comes into life that profit itself cannot fulfill.
Thank you. That's great. So what's a piece of conventional wisdom that you hear in your industry that is that you think is wrong?
Try to do it yourself. Now that's probably for most solopreneurs, most entrepreneurs is, I got an idea, I can do it, I will do it. But we try to do it ourselves, and we really need others. In real estate, we need 20, 30 different kinds of people. Lawyers and accountants and real estate brokers and escrow agents and all kinds of people in there that we need, along with the skill sets that we need to run our businesses themselves. And yet we try to do it ourselves, I guess. And people keep trying to do that. It's a common mistake that we make. I have realized over my lifetime that we need people in our life. I have a wonderful wife of 50 some years, our family, neighbors I could look out the window here and see. We need people in our life and in our businesses too, that challenge us, that support us, that are there for us when things get rough and are there to celebrate the good things in our life.
Absolutely, I agree. So what do you think? What are some of the things you see solopreneurs spending too much time on right now?
I'll speak my own sin on this one, and that's social media. We spend our time trying to break the algorithms and get to people by writing something really clever or learning how to do that. And there's no question we need to know how to use social media well. Got some really good friends that are doing really excellent on YouTube with that. But I think we spend too much time satisfying the algorithms rather than just spending time talking to people and listening to people.
I would agree. I think I spent way too many years trying to be the perfect,
Yes.
solopreneur online.
Yeah.
And then I realized people just want to hear your stories,
Mm-hmm.
the good, the bad, it just makes you human.
Yeah. And they want you to hear their story. So good listening, paying attention, spending time with people is so important. I found that on a recent trip to Cuba that I did. I really just went to spend time with people, let them know that somebody notices them and cares about them that otherwise they wouldn't know. So, and that's true in business too. When somebody leans over the counter and talks to a customer, when the CEO calls somebody in their business there and spends time with them, ask about their family, that makes a huge, huge difference. I wrote a book recently, Donna. I'll just hold up a copy here. It's called Profit Seeks Purpose. And there's those two words that we talked about earlier here. It's a story, it's a fable, it's fiction, but it's true. About people and the particular character here who wakes up after the biggest deal of his life that should have just made him excited, and he felt empty. What now? And the real question that he comes to is, who now? Who will I be now? Not so much what will I do, but who will I be? And he met up with a group of people, a mastermind, of course, I would write the book that way, that helped him be the person that he really ultimately wanted to be. And that's what made the difference with his wife, with his daughter, with the folks on his team, his community. When the profit that he was getting, and it increased, sought a purpose that was deeper than just the profit itself.
Wow, that's something that we could all embrace and learn from.
Yeah, and profit and purpose are not just about what your passion is, although that's important. I was reading a piece on Instagram, of course, this morning, because I look at social media, but where somebody just said, don't seek purpose, just follow your passion. And that's important, but passion needs to meet a need that's out there in the world. And when your passion meets that need, then you have a purpose that's tied to it. And passions come and go. We can discover purposes that will sustain for a long period of time.
Absolutely. That why is so very important.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some tech.
Mhm.
Do you have a tech stack you use that you depend on?
Pretty simple one these days. I still use Excel. I kind of grew up on Excel, but my primary two now are Calendly, where I can have people schedule conversations with me, and Zoom and the phone. Those for me, probably for my pastoral background, my chaplain background, that is about people, are the most important pieces of my tech stack. That we can find a time that we can talk and that we actually talk. Zoom, I think, is good because it allows to see a face and that,
Right.
but I'm fine with just a phone.
It's good. I like simple. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
There you go.
So, do you have routines or habits or that you do on a regular basis that keep you focused and productive?
I have a habit, and actually I did about an hour ago. I took a nap.
Oh,
I have a habit. Maybe it's because I'm my age, but even kindergartners learn this habit of taking a nap. Maybe it's something really important. Just midday, doesn't have to be long. Just get horizontal, best you can. Close your eyes and breathe and take a nap. So that's one. I walk regularly still. I go to Planet Fitness on a regular basis still. I bicycle. Other habits. I guess starting out my day in scripture has been one of my habits. I read through the whole of scripture every year. It's about 4 chapters a day, get you through all the way. And I do that, and it just opens up to me more and more as I just am regular, consistent with it. And I'm working on my Spanish so that the next time I go to Cuba, I can be a lot more conversational. So I spend some time every day working on my
nice.
better conversational Spanish. So.
That sounds like fun.
Mhm.
Okay, so what's a common piece of solopreneur advice that you would push back on?
I think I did a little while ago, and that is that solopreneur advice often is, you got the idea, you can do this, go do it yourself. And I would say, yes, draw on that creativity, that desire you have, that passion you have about something, that product you think will solve a problem in the world, but don't close out the other people there, and you need them. A lot of the entrepreneurs that I work with are more and more adding people to their business. In fact, one guy says, I just reduced all my jobs to just one. I used to do this and this and this and this and this, and I realized my job was different, and that's where my secret sauce is. So he eventually hired the right people. And he's still himself, and they really make the operation work, and he supports them, encourages them, fires them if needs to, but realizing he needs these other people, and his business works so much better that way.
That's amazing. So he didn't necessarily hire employees, though.
No, he has
Just
given them significant responsibilities, and since he's making them solopreneurs of each, a bank that he owns, a business that manufactures homes that he owns, a real estate brokerage that he gave, in a sense, to somebody to operate as a solopreneur there. Now, that's his approach. He still has control, but they are able to operate it by themselves in a sense there. He's a creative guy. Tom's an amazing guy. Yeah.
that's amazing.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, so you have a friend that comes to you tomorrow and says, I want to go solo. What would you actually say to them?
Why? I would want them to,
Hey, that's a good first question.
I would want them to do some serious thinking about why would they want to do that. I am serving right now as interim chaplain at Stetson University here in DeLand, Florida, a wonderful university. A new chaplain's coming in July, and I'll move out of this interim job. But one of the things I often say to the students there is discover who you are before you start doing what you think you should be doing. These years you have on campus are not just about getting knowledge about engineering or about music or about business or about physics or whatever else. It's discovering who you are. And that's the question I'd ask somebody if they were looking to be a solopreneur, if they were looking to start a business themselves, even if they're starting just to go work for somebody else. Why do you want to do this? What do you want to accomplish in this? What's your purpose in doing this? And help them discover those answers for themselves more than me give them advice. It's to draw out those deeper questions that are so important. What am I doing, and who am I in doing this?
That's great advice, even though you didn't give them any advice.
Yeah, I think the best advice is the advice that they are able to discover inside themselves, even if it's the exact same advice I would have given them.
Right.
They're more likely to go with what they can discover. So I tend to use a coaching model, a life coaching model with that when I work with people. ask a lot of questions, reflect back.
Awesome. That's great. And then they'll embrace it because it's theirs.
Yeah, that ownership is so important in life.
Okay, tell me about any exciting projects or launches you have coming up that the audience needs to know about.
Oh, I just recorded the book in my own voice for
Nice.
some people that don't like to read, I guess. Uh, but it's coming out in an audio format here this week. And I look forward to some folks overseas and here in this country that have asked for that. In the spoken word, as an old preacher here, the spoken word is different than the written word. So I'm hoping that it will be able to communicate even better than the written word that took me a year to produce. This story called Prophet Seeks Purpose. Now it'll be in my own voice.
Awesome. Now tell me, um, I'm sorry, I'm going backwards, but how was your experience in writing the book?
Whoa, off and on. There were times with, this is crazy. What are you doing? And other times with, why haven't you done this yet? People need this. And it was that pull and push there, along with some people in the masterminds that I facilitate that just said, all right, Harlan, you said it was going to be out in September. Where is it? What are you doing this month to get it out there? And eventually it came out in March. Uh, uh, it was a tremendous inner work writing a book, particularly this one, and writing fiction here. That's based on decades of just my own experience with people and what I hope people will walk alongside the characters in the story, discover their own self in that, and realize there's some ways out of this funk that we get into when we say, boy, I'm doing really well, but why isn't it satisfying? And although this isn't the only way to move through that, I think this is a very powerful way of finding some other people, a peer group of people that will speak the truth to you and support you and encourage you along the way. And really be asking more than just business technical questions, asking deeper questions in life with each other.
Amazing. Okay, tell the audience how they can connect with you and learn more about what you do.
I think the best way is I've got a website called prophetseekspurpose.com, www.prophetseekspurpose.com. Go to that website. It's a good way. There's a way to contact me in there as well. Pick up a copy of the book, and I'd love to hear how it hit you, what resonated with you, etc. with that as well. I can learn from that. I'm beginning to write a follow-up to this book. It follows one of the characters in the last chapter here as they pick up in their life a younger character. We'll see where that goes. But that's probably the best way is just follow the title of the book, prophetseekspurpose.com.
Awesome. So I'm going to go get that. I'm going to wait for the audio though, because it's just easier.
Yeah, a lot of people say that to me, and I listen a lot when I'm riding bike or at the gym or wherever. I would agree. So it'll be good to have it come out that way. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you,
Tom,
Donna.
thank you so much for being with me.
Enjoyed
I really appreciate it. Yeah.
the conversation. Thank you, and hope this is helpful to others out there that are in this struggle, this challenge, this excitement about being solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, people living their purpose in the world.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you in the next episode of Breaking Solo.